Welcome, my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Hanyo, your demon cinephile, and after fermenting on it for a few days, I still don't know if this movie is worse or better than Chapter One. Because Chapter One was like soulless remake, but it was kinda good just because it was copying something that was good. Chapter 2 is much more creative, it's much more of his own thing, but the idiocy of it all is even worse than Chapter 1. So I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a full spoiler breakdown from what I remember of the movie, just because I just wanna talk about it all just to get it out of my system, and this is before I finish the Prey and Night in Chapter 1 video, was I did record just sitting on my DaVinci Resolve files. I just haven't really had the time just to sit down and edit. But yeah, Chapter 2 starts off with a flashback to a previous victim of the strangers, and they give it away right away that the the main stranger, this lady right here, pinup girl. They reveal that pinup girl is, one second, what is this bitch's name in the cast? I'm pulling up Wikipedia as we talk. Okay, it is revealed that pinup girl is Shelly, the waitress from the diner, which I think most people already guessed that, because we didn't really see a lot of young women in the diner like that. Well, I guess we did, but none of them stood out. So very, very obvious twist or reveal there. Yeah, they have it where she's ordering. She's a waitress, so she's taking somebody's order, and we're watching her from the POV of someone else. She turns around, she talks to this other person who we don't see. She's giving him or her the details of the person she just spoke to. Then we do like a lightning flash cut to pinup girl and Dollface kind of leaning on and caressing Scarecrow, which almost doesn't make sense when we watch more of the movie. But yeah, we get another opening kill like the first movie, and they give this little another statistic about how many acts of violence in the country is committed, and most of these acts are committed by are random and are committed by strangers. It's cool, creepy facts. I wish it was attached to a much better movie. Yeah, but as soon as that's over, we cut back to Maya. She's in the hospital. It's been like a day or two after chapter one. She's giving her accounts to the police, and the deputy, he seems like a nice kind of guy. He's listening to her, trying to take her seriously, trying to get all the details. While the sheriff is being sketchy as hell, to saying, "Oh, you'll talk about it later. You just don't remember." And Maya, she's like, but she's having a little freak out moment, which is understandable. Which I really do want to say, Matt, sorry for getting hypo, talking a little too fast. um, 12 o'clock. I'm drinking an energy drink, which I probably shouldn't be, so it's probably not helping me talk too fast. But yeah, I really do like Madeline Pesh a lot more this time around. Like I said in my spoiler-free review, I don't know it's because of reshoots, or she just said, I don't want to be mean to F you to Rennie Harlan. I don't want to be mean to Rennie Harlan because everything I've seen of him so far, he seems like a nicest guy, and maybe he seems like somebody cool to sit down and talk to. So I don't want to be mean to him, but it feels like she just kind of went her own way with this. which is a lot better than the performance she gave in the first movie. Yeah, but we see her, she's talking to her sister, which seems kind of weird because her phone was destroyed in the first movie. I'm guessing this is um a rental phone. She just bought this phone, but she's been in the hospital for at least a day or so. So how did she go out and buy a phone? And it's not like someone is lending her this phone because she has the phone throughout the whole movie. So continuity issue there. That's not, you know, continuity isn't a polite reminder. It's something you should, try to follow. But then we get to another scene at the diner, and it's the cops are talking about it pretty openly, which they really shouldn't be. But then again, this is a small town, so I guess things like that happen. They let slip that Maya survived, and we see Shelly looking like, "What the hell? How does she survive?" Then we get to the probably the best part of the movie. No, not best. This is the best part of the movie. The Halloween 2 scene or sequence, which isn't really fair, but whenever a big part of a horror movie takes place in a hospital, you just think about Halloween 2. But yeah, it's the dead of night. Maya is sitting in or laying down in bed. Her sister, who is rich, orders a EMT, like a personalized EMT from I think Portland, Oregon, or whatever, to come and pick her up. Which I did not know you can do that for EMTs, but that's good to know. Not like I'll ever be able to afford that. But yeah, so she's lying in bed. She's having a dream about Ryan, and we get that's kinda that little snippet we got at the end of chapter 1 where we see Scarecrow laying in the bed with her, and, that's revealed just to be a dream here, and then she hears someone outside, she hears people moving, and I like this cut. We cut to, I guess, outside or, like, looking from inside to the outside, and we see a nurse smoking, taking her break. We cut back to Maya. Then we do another cut back to that camera angle of the looking to the outside, and the nurse is gone, but we just see a blood spot on the window. I like that cut. I really like that cut. We hear Maya hears someone getting attacked outside her room, and much as I will prefer to see some blood and carnage, I like the way it's directed. Maya's reactions to it. I like the crisp sound of the axe splitting the person head to toe. I don't think we get to see it. And then the chase scene begins. She gets out of the bed. She is maneuvering around the hospital, and I really like it. It's so you see her kind of using her smarts, using the all the clitter clatters, all the little nitbits in the hospital to confuse Scarecrow, to make sounds so she can go somewhere else. I really do like it. It kind of showed that she's smart because I think the character is supposed to be a teacher. So I like that. I really did like that. And it gave us some interesting tension, especially shots of Scarecrow in the background, and they don't play some dumb music behind it. Yeah, that's like one of my criticisms for the first movie is that they would have these cool scare reveals of the strangers close to the characters and just watching them, but then they put some big musical sting to freak you out, which that wasn't necessary. The visual alone was scary enough. The music ruins the tension. It doesn't enhance the tension. So I really do like how they did it here where he's walking in the background. She sees him, but he doesn't see her, or she doesn't notice him, but he sees her. I really like how they played it out. And there's this cool corridor scene where she is running to this dumbwaiter, and she gets in, and pinup girl comes and starts banging on on the freight. She's trying to pry open the door, and it's very similar to it's an obvious callback. It's very similar to the scene in the original 2008 film when Kristen is hiding in the closet and Baby Doll comes up and tries to start fidgeting and banging on the binds of the door. Not a very obvious callback if you only watched the original film like once, but no, I watched it like dozens of times. So I got it. I like it. It's a subtle callback. And she goes down to the I guess like to the morgue part of the hospital. There's this fun part where she does kind of hits him with liquid nitrogen. Once again, the tension was really great. It was a little bit ruined because she's talking, making a lot of noise, and she's not making the noise to distract them. It's like, girl, can you shut up? Can you stop hyperventilating for a moment? Then we get to the she winds up in the morgue and she's looking at the bodies. She hears Scarecrow coming and she's opening up all the doors. And then we see well, we don't see it, but she crawls into one and is with her dead boyfriend, her dead fiance. And I don't know how to feel about that one because the idea is really good. Um, I think Madeline Pesh could have really played it good. I don't know, it was something about how it's edited because I don't know, there's just not a lot of tension there. And I don't know, maybe it has to do because we know she survives and we're getting a part 3, but there's not a lot of tension of, "Oh, is he gonna find her? Is he gonna kill her? Or what's gonna happen?" There's no tension of how she's going to escape, and they don't really hit at, um, I guessing the emotional roller coaster of having to lay on top of the body of your dead fiance. It just feels like it kinda happens to her. And there is a flashback of them together, but it's not a new flashback, it's a flashback from the first movie. And I don't know, if you're gonna do a bunch of reshoots for this, I think that would've been the best thing to do. Do a flashback of them before the trip, before everything went to hell, maybe a first date, just to help us connect with her more and learn something about her that we haven't already seen. But yeah, she survives that because I guess the mortgager, the person who runs the morgue or whoever, walks in. He sees Scarecrow. He tries to beg for his life, and Scarecrow takes the axe and swings down, and it cuts to Maya in the freezer. Which the one thing the Strangers had never really been a gory franchise. Like, the first one wasn't that gory. Prey at Night was a little bit gory, but not really, not like that. You think you would inject a little gore, because the first 2 movies didn't need a lot of gore because it had the tension, it had the dread. These movies don't have that, so if you can't mimic that tension, you can't copy that dread, at least go crazy on the violence, go crazy on the blood, go full Terrifier on this. But no, we cut as soon as the axe swings, we hear the effect, we hear the body drop, and we see the aftermath, but it's not particularly brutal or freaky, it's just a regular old stab wound, which I really shouldn't say a regular old stab wound. Yeah, but it's it's not scary, it's like, "Oh, we know this had happened." You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But she makes her way out of the hospital and she's running throughout the town. She makes her way to this barn, and at the barn, she tries to break in because it's raining. She doesn't. she's being chased by these strangers. She doesn't know what to do. And then this old woman, I guess, and the owner of the barn comes out and she has her gun, and I think it's a revolver. She has her gun pointed at her and she's like, "What you doing on my property? I'm gonna stop or I'm gonna shoot." Maya's like, she's begging, like, "Please help me. Please call the police, call the sheriff." And she's like, "Oh, I ain't gonna call the sheriff. He ain't gonna do." Then, boom, the woman collapses dead. I think it was Pinup Girl. Pinup Girl shot her with a crossbow, and Maya, she has a great idea to pick the gun up and at shoot it at Pinup Girl, and Pinup Girl flees. Now I don't remember why, but she shoots the gun, then Maya drops the gun and just leaves it there. Now I can't remember if she shot it like a couple times and the bullets just came out, or the bullets just ran out, or she just shot it one time and there was no bullet. Which, okay, if it was the former, understandable. The gun is empty. If it's the latter, shit, my soul's about to fall down. If it's the latter, then it's even more stupid on the filmmakers because why would you just have one bullet in the chamber or the spinning thing? I, I, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. I mean, it also seems kind of weird. You think Maya, could she would just hold on to it? Hopefully, she can find more bullets. I don't know. That's just a little thought. But we get another good tension scene when she goes into the stables to hide from, because the strangers are all around the house. They're coming for her. She hides in the stables and she used the noise of the horses, the distraction to get up, get one up on one of the female strangers. She stabs her in the leg with a pitchfork, which was awesome. Gnarly. You'd think she would also punched her or do a little bit more something than just that, but she had to run away. Understandable. Not really understandable. Could do a little bit more. But she runs away. She makes her way into the house and she gets locked into the bathroom where Scarecrow is trying to sorry, trying to break the door down and get her. And once again, another really good tension scene. Because she's trying to open the bathroom window to run out. It has like a little lock on it. She can't get it open. He busts through the door. There's a little hole through the door. He grabs her hair. She has to yank her hair out to get away from him. Great. It was great. I loved like that whole 10, 13 minutes, how long that scene from the hospital to the farmhouse lasted. It was really good. Was it the best chase was it the best chase sequence ever? No, no, it was not. But there was actually some really good tension spots there. Madeline Pez, she sold the fear, the terror. It was really great. Um, I can't remember when it happened. We during this time we get our first flashback in the movie, and I can't remember was it before the hospital sequence or after, but sorry, tired. Oh yeah, took that. But we get the first little flashback sequence. We see this little girl. She is in the playground at her school. She's in a uniform, so are the boys, other kids. So I'm guessing this is a church school. It seems kind of it seems kind of fancy a bit for such a small town, but then again, I know they can afford the uniforms. They can afford the uniforms. But yeah, she's playing in the sand. She's making little sand castles, and she's watching this little boy, and he's like playing with all these other girls. They get called back into the inside, and the girls smash her sand castles, and she gets all sad and upset. She takes her doll, she hugs it close to her, and we see the doll's face is the same as the pimp girl mask, which, okay, that was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't interesting though. Why did we need that flashback sequence? I don't know. We'll learn later. But as Maya is running through the woods, she's running. She's running through the woods. She makes her way to the main road, or road, I guess. It's pouring down rain, and these two ladies in a jeep. It's a jeep or something. They stop. They help her out. They help her into the car, and one of them is the nurse from the hospital, and the other is her roommate or her mom, is somebody. And they're like, "Oh my god, we're here to help you. I'm gonna help you real quick. We're gonna take you back to my place. We're gonna get you all stitched up. You look awful. I don't want you to bleed out." And while they're doing all this, they're being really creepy. Like, and there's something they're filming in a certain way which just feels odd, uncomfortable, especially how they're locking the doors and stuff, and little things that they're saying. And then while they're driving, their roommates, these two dudes, their roommates are just walking in the rain in the middle, like not in the middle of the road. I think they're off the side, but it doesn't matter. Just walking in the rain. They're like, "Oh, those are our roommates. What are they doing out here?" And the two boys get in, and one of them is kind of acting a bit normal, awkward. The other guy, he's just being weird for the weirdness sake. He's all up in her face. Like they have the camera to all up like, where's can I do this real quick? Get off. And what is it doing? Let me do this. Of course, having issues. But yeah, they have the camera all up like he's like this up here to her face, like, ugh. Like, hey girl, so you're the one that got attacked? You're bleeding. But yeah, he's just being weird and creepy for no reason. No reason. And he turns his head. He has a little smile tattoo, and a little the stranger symbol, the little smiley face. He has that tattoo on his neck, and Maya, she starts hyperventilating. She starts imagining that the two dudes are scarecrow next to her. She sees the nurse and the other woman as baby doll and pinup girl. I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, they're just acting weird. The roommate, who they said is ex-military or in the military, she takes out. She takes out. Okay, I'm not gonna fix the screen. I'm just gonna keep. I'm just be giant like this. She takes out a fucking hunting knife and starts carving her apple to eat it. The the fuck, the fuck. You're not 6 years old. He's like, ew, I don't like the apple skin. I mean, maybe you're allergic to apple skin, which I hear some people are just allergic to the apple skin, not the apple itself, which, okay, whatever. But why the fuck would you cut the skin off with a goddamn hunting knife? And what makes it weird too, because the younger woman is the nurse. She's like, and she, the police probably didn't share information with her, but she's like, she probably examined her body. She examined the wounds. She probably with her was done to the fiance. So she thinks she'd tell her roommates to quit acting all fucking weird. Like, this girl just been through some shit. She's clearly not in her right state of mind. But I do really like this scene, just showing the PTSD, showing how the the effects of the previous night is taking on her psyche. Like, she can't trust anybody in this town. That everybody is a freaking stranger, and anyone could be one of these killers. I really like that. I really like that, and how she hallucinates the mask on their faces. It was really good. And you see her eyes dancing to the knife and to the locked door. You know, she just jumps out. It was a really excellent scene. It's one of the few times, I think the only time in the film where they actually got some really good tension going, and it almost the same, not almost, but a good. It was dreadful, like the stranger should be. But yeah, she jumps out of the moving car. She hides away from them, and then I can't remember what happens after this. Because I think after she goes away, we get a scene with the sheriff and the deputy, and they're looking for the stranger's red pickup truck. And as they're searching through all this junk and bunk, the deputy doesn't notice the truck, but the sheriff does. And they just keep on trucking. The sheriff's like, "Oh, nothing here. Keep on moving, boy." So obviously, well, the sheriff was creepy in the other scenes, but now it's pretty obvious that yeah, he is in on this. So I don't know. Subtle, not really, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the scene because I like the idea that maybe the whole town is on it in on it, but it also feels like that should be like a big reveal or just revealed a little bit better, just showing shit the chair's moving. Just showing that I don't know, there's something about it. Technically there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I just don't like how it was executed, you know what I mean? Took a small break. Nothing really changed here, did it? Did it? All right. So after that, we get this strange part of the movie where I really don't know how to feel about this. Because at first I was liking it, then I kind of, then I really didn't. I really didn't. So, for like the next 10 minutes or so, we have Maya just trucking it in the woods. You know, she stops at this river. She uses the first aid kit she stole from the nurse to stitch herself back together. And the sequence of her closing her stab wound from the cabin, it's it's not excuse me, it's not particularly gory, but it's enough. It's enough. You see enough blood. You see a little bit of the opening, the hole, not that hole. And we get to see just enough gruesomeness. And once again, Madeline Pettis, she sells it. I think she's selling the pain and the trauma she's going through. Then we just see her just, like I said, living in the woods for like for on screen it was like 10 or so minutes. I guessing for her it's like a few hours. But she finds this abandoned, beaten up car. She makes some fire to keep herself warm. And I'm thinking, is this what the good part of the movie is just gonna be? Just her living out in the woods until someone helps her, or she's forced to go back into town? Okay, okay, I kind of like this. And as this is going on, we get little splices of the strangers hunting her. And I don't and I think this is where the film really ruins it a little bit, the idea of the strangers, or at least their look of the characters, because I think it's good to say here, these characters did not look good and out in the open without the darkness. I don't know, the first iteration from the first movie, you don't from the first two movies, the original two movies, you don't see them a lot in bright lights. And when you do, it's very stylized to still keep them creepy. You know what I mean? As in the second movie, Pray at Night, it's a lot of the party lights, like at the pool scene, or the fire, like when the man in the mask is hunting the teenager. Then in the original movie, you get that scene of them in broad daylight, but it still has some heavy shadows there, and it's framed in a way where they still are imposing. Here, though, we have them like at what's the word when it's used? Midday, like early morning or the sky still kind of darkish, and they have them in their full stranger getup with their weapon, just looking around. And it's just not scary. It's not scary. They don't look imposing. They don't look intimidating, like intimidating hunters. They just look silly. And that's the one thing you don't want your horror movie to be, or you don't want your villains to be, is silly. I mean, unless you're going for something weird like Leprechaun or Ready or Not. You want your villains to at least at 99% of the time to be scary, intimidating, freaky. Just those few shots of them in the woods and that lighting kill any kind of intimidation factor for these characters for me. And I can't really put a finger on why. Just they just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. They don't look scary. They don't look intimidating. And it's just that. But yeah, well, we have seen Maya cooking, or not really cooking, just warming herself up by the fire. We get an immediate, like an Evil Dead style POV of something running through the woods, and she hears it. It cut back to her. She hears it. She's trying to run. She's trying to find some cover. And as we keep cutting back to the POV of the animal, we start hearing some hoofs. We hear some breathing. It's like, okay, what the heck is this? Is this a dog? No, it can't be a dog. Is it like a horse? Um, for a second, I thought we were going full supernatural for a minute because when she jumps into the car, we can't see what the thing attacking the car. It's pretty physical. The car getting bent in, the glass getting broken. It's like, what the heck is happening? What the heck is happening? Are we actually going full supernatural? But no, the animal breaks to the car, and we see it's a wild boar. It's this big old pig. It's a wild boar, and the CGI for this animal is it's very bad. It's very bad. You can tell the animal's not real at all, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want if this was still like the first version of this movie, and they had to quickly put this together. I would give them some leeway. Probably not, but I would. But they spent like a whole year on not like a whole year on reshoots, but they reshot a good part of the movie. They add extra bits. This movie was originally supposed to come out October 2025. 2024. We waited a whole year for this movie. You're telling me you wouldn't fix up the CGI just to make the boar a little bit more realistic so it looks like it's actually there? But if you've been paying attention to the memes, not really. I don't think there's been memes, but there's little jokes that the movie does kind of go full the reverent for a little bit because Maya gets fucked up by this boar. She gets fucked up by this boar. And it's actually not that bad. It's actually not that bad. It's a pretty intense scene. If the boar just looked like it was actually there, it could have been great. But because it looks so cartoonishly fake, it any little bit of real attention you get from it is quickly destroyed. And it's also quickly destroyed when you once again realize this is supposed to be the strangers. You're supposed to be watching the strangers. But she gets up her hand on the board, she kills it, and as she kills it, she goes like a full for a double tap, and you see she's screaming, she's in rage, she's in pain. And I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna toughen her up. Is she gonna take a toll on her mentally? It doesn't really see that happening. I guess we do and we don't. I'll explain later. But as she walks away, As she walks away, we see Pinup Girl watching the aftermath. Then we get another flashback, this time of Pinup Girl and the little boy she has a crush on. And they're in a pig pen. He's like, I'm going to train these pigs. They're going to do all kinds of things. And we automatically, okay, thinking, okay, so he's supposed to be Scarecrow. Then as that's happening, these torrent of mean girls come by from we saw before. They get his attention. They take him away from her. Then little pinup girl gets so mad that her crush isn't talking to her. She runs away. She goes like to this creek. She picks up this mouse. She starts petting it, squeezing it a little too tight, a little too tight, a little too tight, a little too tight. Kills it. And she just stares at the camera all evilly, like, yeah, I'm an evil kid. I'm an omen. I'm a Damien. I'm a Damien, motherfucker. Yeah, she's like that. And we cut back to, oh, what did we cut back to? We go back to the modern time, but I don't think we go right back to Maya. I think we go back to like to the sheriff or something. But I can't remember what they're doing. I'll probably say nothing important because it doesn't stick with me. It did not stick with me at all. But Maya, she eventually makes her way um back to the cabin where she and her fiance were attacked, and it's kind of neat. I don't know what to use the word. It's kind of nice seeing how she's looking through everything, going through the damage, remembering the past. I just wish it was remembering a different movie. But yeah, she changes her clothes. She gets ready to go. And all of a sudden, this weirdo, this guy comes out of freaking nowhere. And he's like, hey. I'm a state police. I'm from Internal Affairs. I'm here to check up on this town. You're the victim, right? Okay, here, we're gonna get you out. He takes her to his car, and he takes his sweet ass time getting to the driver's side for enough time for pinup girl to shoot him dead with her crossbow. Maya, freaking out, she jumps to the passenger side, gets the car revving up, and starts backing away, driving to the main road. Pinup girl shoots I think she shoots the tire, and the car either crashes or she jumps out. But when she gets out, she gets to a house, and it's the house of the nurse and her roommates. But this was also kind of a complaint I had about the first movie or chapter one, that they were so close to help and never got it. You know what I mean? Because the first two movies, they sell that you are freaking isolated. Kristen and James, even though there was neighbors nearby, they were secluded enough that they couldn't go out and contact anybody. Pray at night, you're in an abandoned um trailer park, I think. Yeah, because it's the off season. Nobody's there except the aunt and uncle, and the aunt and uncle are already dead. Here, though, no, Ryan and Maya could have gotten some help if they just knew the location better, or just stayed on the main road instead of wandering off in the woods. But as that happens, we get I'm trying to remember the freaking order of this. I don't think we got in our flashback. It was some other scene. I think it was with the paramedic. The EMT that the sister order for Maya. He goes to the thing of the word. He goes to the the junkyard, not the junkyard, the shop from across from the diner, the one that told Ryan and Maya that, hey, you gotta fix this. Your car it broken. It has to be fixed. You gotta stay here for the night. You know, the obvious scam for part one. Uh, they go to he stops at the shop to get some gas. He finds the owner. He's like, "Hey, do you know directions to blah blah blah?" And he's like, "Wait, you're going up there?" He starts giving him this evil eye, this evil stare, and the EMT's like, fine, I don't have to go there. I still need gas, please." So obvious that he was a part of it. So the obvious scam Ryan mentioned in part one was true. It was a scam. It would have been it's, this is the thing that you're trying to create some intrigue. You're trying to create some mystery, some drama about who was the strangers, why they became the strangers. But as a who done it, it's I don't know, for a who done it, you need some good red herrings. And you have a whole town of red herrings. And you know what would have been kind of awesome? That the very weird and semi-evil acting character from the first movie was actually revealed to be a good guy. That he really just wanted to help them with their car. But no, he's evil because I don't know, lack of imagination or something. So then we cut back to Maya. She wakes up at the nurse's house, and I really do like how she wakes up. And it's not simply because it's Madeline Pesh in almost nothing but her underwear. I mean, that kind of helps the scene. But no, you get to see a good look at her body, not like that, kind of like that. But we get to see all the damage she's taken, all the cuts, all the bruises, how the boar fucked her up. Which I'm pretty sure she should have at least a few broken bones, but she doesn't. And I kind of like that. It feels, her battle damages, evidence of the proof of all the horror she's been going through. Even though the scar on her forehead changes every other shot. But I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I, like I said, I just wish it was part of a better movie, a better script. um, but yeah, she gets dressed. She goes out and she sees the nurse and all of them, and she is still very on guard. She doesn't know she can trust them. And all the roommates are just being weird about, like, oh, she's being this Maya chick, she's being really weird and nasty. That we helped her. And once again, it's the nurse who knows at least a good amount of what this girl has went through. She doesn't tell anything about her roommates to fuck off and leave her be. She probably doesn't want to be close to anybody right now. She never says anything like that. The closest thing she says that to is, I think his name's Trevor, the creepy tall dude who he's like, always up closer, like, so you got cut up, got a bunch of scars. How'd it feel? Really just asking about her scars. It's like, what is wrong with you? Do you have a bleeding fetish? Do you like to cut people in private moments? Do you? Do you? But yeah, the nurse tells him, like, just go, leave us alone. And he has this awesome pout moment, like, fine, I will. He goes into his room, starts blaring rock music, like he's a freaking teenager. Uh, but yeah, Maya gets her phone back. She goes into the room, which is one of their ladies' room, but she goes into her room. She's texting her sister about the EMT. And then Trevor, he walks back in. He walks into her room once again. Is asking like about her scars. How did it feel to be so close to death? And then Maya's asking him, "Do you know about this?" He's like, "Oh yeah, the whole town knows about all this crazy stuff." And he's like, "Oh, it's been happening for like a long time, like 10, 15 years. And at first, I'm thinking, like, oh, are we going to do something really cool? Like, are we going to keep part one of the first two movies in continuity and just say that the current killers are related to them? That'd been kind of cool. That'd been kind of cool. No, we didn't get that. There's no reference to the previous movies, which shame. It would probably would made this slightly better. But he just gives this like, yeah, it's been going on for a few years. She's asking why. What's the reason? And he's like, dude, does there really need to be a reason? Okay, creepy boy, get the so get away from her. But yeah, he has a real pouty moment, storms off, and he leaves the house. He leaves the house. Okay, I want to make that point clear. He does leave the house. And as that's happening, she's looking through the closet, she's going through some things. She finds a pair of scissors on the ground. She hears some noise. Okay, she hears a little noise outside, next to the door. She goes to investigate the door, and then Pinup Girl is there. Pinup Girl is in the house. She blocks the door, and I don't think the camera pans, but it like kind of like zooms out, and it shows that Baby Doll is behind her. And she starts to figure it out, like, oh fuck, there's someone behind me, there's someone behind me. And she takes the scissors and stabs her in the arm. And she runs into the bathroom, barricades herself, and until she doesn't hear anything, like there's no more noise. And like kind of like an idiot that she is, she just goes out and sees that, yep, Baby Doll and Pinup Girl aren't there. The door, the main door is unblocked. So she goes downstairs to investigate, which I think I would just stayed up in my room and probably climb up on the roof or something. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, she goes to investigate, and I'm thinking at this point, very obvious that okay, so the nurse and her roommate lady, they are Baby Doll and Pinup Girl. But no, when Maya gets downstairs, she sees the two other women are killed. They were killed. But they weren't simply killed, like they weren't their throats weren't slashed or they were stabbed in the spine or something. No, they are tied up on chairs and like cut up all over. Like it wasn't like a simple kill. Like these were detailed executions. So I'm thinking, when the fuck did this happen? When did this happen? Because it was so like literally how I described it. She had her talk with Trevor. Trevor gets up out of her room and leaves. And then like a minute or two later, there's Baby Doll and Pinup Girl are attacking her. And she's locked herself in the bathroom for like a few seconds. So how when and how did Baby Doll and Pinup Girl kill these two? When and did they have the time? How did it not make so much loud noise, terrorizing and torturing and killing them? Uh, like, are they supernatural? Because this is some weird preternatural bullshit going on. But Maya gets out. She goes to the front steps. She sees that the call the not college, what was it college? The other male roommate, that's the one that's not that wasn't so creepy. She sees that he is dead on the ground, a plastic bag on his face, and Maya runs to the truck and or the EMT truck. She runs to the van and she climbs to the passenger to the passenger? No, she climbs to the truck. She's telling the guy to go, go, go. The guy, the EMT that we saw earlier, he's dead. He's like right next to her. And who's in the front seat? It's Pinup Girl, because this is kind of her movie. She's a stranger getting all the development or all the backstory. And her and Pinup Girl, they get into a little scuffle, and she stabs Pinup Girl in the neck or in the head. It's kind of weird. It's not odd where she stabbed her, but it seems to take effect. Pinup Girl is kind of, she's on her back. She's like moving all funny, and Maya is just watching her die, watching the life flow out of her, which I like what they're doing. Like Maya is getting like kind of a dark moment. Not necessarily that she is becoming a villain or a monster, but she is losing a bit of her humanity, which I guess kind of counts because in the first movie she was very soft, very naive. So I guess this is a kind of a good character development. I guess. Um, but whatever. She knocks her out, or no, she kills her. She kills her. She goes into she goes into the driver's seat, starts driving away. Then pinup girl comes back to life and tries to strangle Maya. Maya, being smart, shows that she has some smarts, puts her seatbelt on, slams the brakes, and then the van flips over, which I can't remember the stunt was good or bad. It's just gonna happen. I never find that impressive. But as Maya, is flung out of the. She doesn't flung. She crawls out of the van. She starts looking around, trying to see where Pinup Girl is. Then she sees her. She sees Pinup Girl. She's lying on her back in the road. She goes up to her. She's about to take the mask off, and all of a sudden, the other strangers pull out. Their truck is in view. They step out, and Scarecrow starts being all weird about Pinup Girl being dead. He's mourning her. He takes the mask off. You see, it's the nurse. He's caressing her face, caressing the mask, picking her body up. And as that's happening, we are like our final flashback of the movie, where we see little pinup girl. She is watching the I guess her bully, I guess the main bully girl of the school. She's playing with little Scarecrow, and she goes into this little playhouse, and she's because we've seen this like in the first flashback where there's this little playhouse, and when she goes in, someone else has to knock on the door and ask, "Are you home?" And then they come out and switch and stuff, and we see her do that to the little Scarecrow, and when she does it, when he opens the door, she comes out and she kisses him. He freaks out, like, "Oh God, you have cooties," or whatever. Maybe it's a religious thing. Maybe just, "Hey, you kissed me without permission." Maybe he flees. I don't know. I think it's part of the whole religious thing going on. I'll talk about it in a second. And as she runs away, um, you see the little girl back in the playhouse, a little knocking coming. A little knocking. I'm not sure you can hear my knocking, but there's a little knocking. And she says, when she opens the door, there's a little pinup girl, and she says the thing, "Is Tamara home?" And then she bludgeons her to death with a rock. And it's not a very impressive scene because we don't really get to see a lot of the gore. We don't get, I mean, it's a child being murdered, so I don't really want to see it. But if if you can't scare us properly, if you can't create good dread, at least shock us with a dead kid. But so yeah, this is the we cut and we see the blood just flowing on the playground. Little Scarecrow comes up. He has some blood on his shirt, which I don't fully get because he walked away. He wasn't there when Pinup Girl killed him. I think her name's Shelly. He wasn't there when Shelly killed him or killed her. And as the blood is going through the pavement, we see them do the little smiley face in the blood, and these concerned teachers, I think a priest shows up, and we don't really see anything else after that. So, and the movie just kind of ends right there. We see Maya watching the scare the other strangers more and Pinup Girl, and the movie just kind of ends. It just kind of ends. So, that was Strangers, the chapter 2. And like I said, I like the movie. It's more of its own unique thing because it's not directly remaking anything from the first film, but at the same time, it's very. It feels like the middle chapter of a story. You can tell that a lot of reshoots were added to extend this because I think I I was always under the impression that these were meant to be a trilogy from the beginning, but then again, I also heard I just heard recently that Rennie Harlan just shot so much for the initial, the initial shot days, the initial shoot days. He just shot so much that they had enough material to do 3 films. I'm not sure which one of those is true, but this just feels like the middle chapter, and you can feel the reshoots that were added in, like the whole thing with Maya and the board. That definitely was not in the original cut of this movie. I'm pretty sure some of the gore, what little we got, was not in the original cut of this movie, and probably even those flashbacks probably were not in the original cut of this film because they just feel so added on. Like you can edit them out of the movie and it changes nothing. It changes absolutely freaking nothing. Um, yeah, I just don't really know how to feel about this film because I walked in with very little expectation. I was expecting to hate it, but I found myself mostly enjoyed by it. And then we get to like the second half where all the enjoyment just kind of goes away. And each time they try to do something a little different, a little more unique, a little bit more cool, it's ruined by the characters being stupid. It's ruined by the script being stupid. And you also gotta go with the fact I said earlier that the film isn't scary. There's barely any tension to it. It's not shot creatively. Like, not to dump on the cinematographer, because I need to watch this a few more times to remember anything good. But there is no interesting shots in this movie. There's no shot that particularly stands out where you can tell a lot of creativity was put into it. There's nothing, just nothing. There's um and the motive for the strangers have been made almost very obvious, which I still don't know if I like. 'Cause like I said, I think these characters should remain motiveless, at least for the audience. But if you are going to give a motive, it should be very interesting. It should be very cool, very disturbing. And so far, all we got is that Peanut Girl was always an evil little girl. She was a little Damien. She was a Damien. She had a crush on Scarecrow. They became lovers after she murdered Tamara. We don't know how Baby Doll fits into their little scenario. I was right about the religious connections. What's her name? Maya said that it felt like a ritual when she's talking to the sheriff. And then the whole thing with the Mormon boys, or I guess Christian boys, I don't think they're Mormon, but the religious boys in the chapter 1, all the religious pamphlets given out, the fact that those people overreacted, like with Maya and Ryan, like you've been together for 5 years and you haven't put a ring on it. So it is like a religious element. There is like they don't like them because they think they're sinners, or at least that was Scarecrow's probably this probably was Scarecrow and baby dolls motives are that they don't like sinners or something stupid like outsiders. But like for a pinup girl is simply she's a psycho. Like she's always liked violence as a kid. And it seems kind of weird because this movie sets it up as pinup girl basically being the reason the strangers became the strangers. She's kind of like the ringleader. She initiates each killing with is Tamara here? She committed the first kill. She probably turned Scarecrow into Scarecrow. She probably guided Baby Doll into becoming Baby Doll. Like she more or less should have been like the main boss of the films. Like she should have been like the final boss Maya has to kill at the end of chapter 3. But no, she dies here in the most idiotic way possible. Not idiotic, it's actually pretty smart for the character. It's just not satisfying for the death of a major killer. May as for a henchman, sure, but not a character who is supposed to be so big and significant. And oh yeah. So and then during the mid credit sequence, we actually get a teaser. We get a teaser trailer for chapter 3. And it's fucking odd. I'm gonna say it's fucking odd. Okay, so what happens is move away from the mic. So what happened is we see the sheriff and the junk guy, they're being weird and creepy. We are in a hotel room and we see Maya, we see Scarecrow putting the pinup girl mask on Maya. We see Maya in the pinup girl mask tying somebody up. So yeah, it's like a ritual thing. They are trying to convert Maya into becoming one of them, or maybe Scarecrow is because she killed pinup girl. We don't know. And it just seems so stupid. It seems so stupid. This was such an awful. I don't want to say it's awful because part 3 isn't out yet. It's coming out sometime early in 2020 6, probably in February or March. That's what I'm guessing. And time will tell. I don't know. Maybe Remy Harlan put all the good stuff in chapter 3. Maybe he really went balls to the wall crazy in the third and final film. I pray, I pray, I pray. Yeah, this is just me ranting, talking about The Strangers Chapter 2. You wanna know my other thoughts about the film, watch the other video, but yeah, it's just been me ranting for an hour, and some because I had to pause the video just to stretch my legs and gather my thoughts. But yeah, The Strangers Chapter 2, a very confusing sequel. I I really hated this movie. Not really hate it. Hate is a strong word. It was boring. It was just boring. It was not scary. But when they really were trying to do something interesting, trying to add in that dread, it really worked. I really liked it. I think I don't know if it was the reshoots, there was another person on helping behind the camera, but that part in the hospital and to the barnyard or whatever was actually really good. If more of the movie was like that, I would have been fully on board with this being nothing but a chase sequence for 90 minutes. But no, the movie dropped its ball in the second act and just never recovered. But yeah, Strangers 2 or The Strangers Chapter 2. It sucks. I I don't see myself ever watching this movie ever again, except for in chapter 3 comes out because it's supposed to be like one big movie. It's supposed to be like a 4-hour long movie. So you know what, Rennie Harlan? Before chapter 3 comes out, I'll watch chapter 1 and chapter 2 on the same night, and I'm gonna see your vision. I hope it's executed well because I don't. I try to wish. I don't want to wish bad on anybody like that, unless you're an awful person. But even then, still. But I hope this is something good. I hope that this is something special. I hope all his creative juices really are in this last chapter because this is gonna go down as probably one of the worst reboots in all of horror, if not. If not. But yeah, I'm Hanyo, your Demon Cinephile. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this film, and I will see you all sometime soon. I just really hope that I get my equipment all good and sorted out so we can start streaming again, because I really want to. I really want to stream with you guys. I'm gonna see y'all later. Have a good night, evening, morning, wherever you may be in the world, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.